From a drunk Wisconsin man who flipped this officer's patrol vehicle, and a cop from Arkansas who learned a valuable lesson about hydroplaning, to a semi-truck that lost control and T-boned a police SUV, and a wild chase of two females that saw one officer crash straight into a tree. Here are some of the most unbelievable police accidents caught on camera. November 29th of 2023. Police in Opelika, Florida are looking for a suspicious vehicle that had just fled from a traffic stop. It was a blacked-out car, possibly a Kia, and the suspect was driving recklessly down the Florida highways. Trooper Walner Roy turned on his lights and began searching for the suspect's vehicle. After a few laps around the area, he spotted a black Kia Stinger weaving in and out of traffic. He pulled behind the car, but the driver refused to stop. The chase was on.
He's approaching 17 right now.
Trooper Roy had to get this guy off the road ASAP. Unfortunately, he was about to make the biggest mistake of his policing career.
Oh, I didn't see your lights. I didn't see your lights in the back. Oh, you got the wrong car. I didn't see the lights in the back. No, I got the wrong car.
This is Opelika Police Captain Corey Krotenberg, and he is not very happy. As the story goes, he was participating in a multi-department gang task force operation. A helicopter was overhead, helping officers track an unrelated vehicle believed to be involved in a violent crime. Trooper Roy thought Captain Krotenberg was the suspect he was after. In Roy's defense, Krotenberg did not have his lights or sirens on as he weaved through traffic. Anybody on the road would have seen him and thought, this guy's crazy. Florida Highway Patrol said Trooper Roy wasn't in trouble as he had reason to believe Krotenberg was fleeing and refusing to stop. Meanwhile, the Opelika police declined to comment on why Krotenberg was driving so erratically without his lights on. One could argue that putting his lights on might blow his cover. In that case, he could have radioed in, telling Roy to back off. At the end of the day, poor communication skills led to this hysterical blunder. Thankfully, neither officer was hurt in the accident. Back on April 22nd of 2021, 4 officers working for the DC Police Department thought that a good way to kill some time would be to have a little street race in their patrol cars. What could go wrong? If only they knew how things would turn out. One officer's body camera captured the whole thing. The video starts with the 2 officers showing something on their phones through the window to the other patrol car. We're unsure what exactly it was as it's been blurred out. Not long after, our driver puts his hands on the wheel and a brief countdown begins. Both cars take off in a mad dash down the road, quickly reaching speeds of 60 miles per hour in what appears to be a somewhat residential area. Things seem to be going fine when out of nowhere, one of the cruisers turns directly into the path of the other. The vehicles collide and the force is enough for the airbags to deploy. As both cruisers come to a halt, our body cam audio finally comes back in.
Yeah, I'm good.
The officer lets people know he's all right, but the cruisers certainly aren't. Immediately after, the Metro Police launched an investigation. Quickly, they learned that the cops were racing when they crashed. 4 officers were put under investigation, at least 2 were charged with reckless driving, and at least 1 of them was fired. If we had to guess, it was probably the driver that caused the wreck, or whose idea it was to race in the first place. Thankfully, nobody suffered any serious injury. The embarrassment was probably more than enough pain. Menominee, Wisconsin is a small city in Dunn County, just south of Cedar Falls. It's home to about 17,000 people and one man who didn't understand the dangers of drinking and driving. Adam had a few too many on the night of June 23rd of 2023. He and a buddy were leaving a local bar when a Menominee police officer watched him drive through a set of flashing red lights. FYI, flashing red lights are stop signs. You must come to a complete stop before passing through. Adam didn't just roll through, he drove like they weren't even there. The officer spun around and flipped on her lights, but Adam refused to stop. He finally pulled over after driving down several side streets. Our officer got out to investigate, not knowing that this drunkard had one more trick up his sleeve.
Police department, turn the car off. Take the keys out of the ignition. Turn the car off! They're taking off northbound.
Adam wasn't going to jail that night. He fled from the wrecked car and tried very stupidly to outrun police on foot.
Stop! Stop! Stop right now, you! Get the back here! I got one running on me! Get back here! Stop!
Adam fell like a bag of bricks after our officer deployed her taser. They eventually got him in handcuffs and could turn their attention toward the crashed cop car. Thankfully, the officer was up and walking around after the crash. He even came over to help arrest Adam. We believe this is him right here. Now, he might have been fine, but his cruiser was pretty messed up.
Hey, sir. Long story short is Heather tried to stop a car. Heather got it to finally stop after it rolled a couple blocks. She got out gunpoint, told him to turn the car off, take the keys out. The guy turned the car off, then turned the car back on and bolted, and when he bolted, he hit Ben, and Ben's vehicle flipped over. Yeah, so it's sitting on its roof right now on the 1100 block of Main Street East.
Adam was taken to the hospital where doctors treated him for minor injuries. He spent the night in county jail and was charged with hit and run, drunk driving, and several other charges. It's unclear if his passenger was in any trouble. From what we can gather, he tried to make Adam stop and doesn't know why he chose to run. Hopefully, both of them learned a valuable lesson about drunk driving and running away from the police. Don't try it. Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin is a small village on the southern tip of Green Bay. It's home to about 17,000 people who fall under the protection of the Ashwaubenon Police Department. But on February 11th of 2019, the police were rushing to protect one of their own. It's about 9:30 a.m., and 2 squad cars are waiting at a snowy red light. The light turns green, and the lead car pulls through the intersection. Then suddenly, a semi-truck comes out of nowhere and T-bones the cop car. It pushes the officer over the median, and he gets lost behind the truck. His door was crushed, and he was trapped inside the car. But by some miracle, the officer was unharmed. The truck driver also walked away unscathed. The trucker was cited for driving too fast in the snowy conditions. Either he lost control in the snow or never saw the red light. Fayetteville, Arkansas is the second most populated city in the state. It's home to about 100,000 people and one very lucky police officer. On March 25th of 2021, he learned a valuable lesson about hydroplaning. Officer Chase Harris was responding to a call about a woman in trouble. He was speeding down Ruppel Road when he hit a slick patch of rain and lost control of his cruiser. Officer Harris's seatbelt kept him snug as the car rolled. He crawled out from under the wreckage to find several bystanders pulled over to help. He was okay, but his cruiser didn't fare well.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
This is 911. Do you want me to-
You okay? I'm good, man. Just trying to get to a lady that needed help. And
433. Are you okay or do you need to go to the call?
go to the call, I'm good.
Police said Officer Harris only sustained a few bumps and bruises. Hopefully, somebody else was able to help that lady. Trotwood, Ohio is a small city just outside of Dayton. On January 8th of 2024, it was the scene of a dangerous high-speed chase through multiple jurisdictions. It began when 54-year-old James Skirvin of Florida fled the scene of a hit-and-run. Police arrived after a woman called, claiming Skirvin had struck her with his truck. Skirvin pulled out as they pulled in. He had a weapon poking out his window, which forced police to keep their distance. The chase led police through residential areas and eventually onto the highway. Up ahead, several officers took position in the high-speed lane. They aimed their weapons, trying to shoot out Skirvin's tires. Multiple shots shred Skirvin's tires. His rims smoke, and you can see where bits of rubber fly off and strike the police car. He knew he wouldn't make it much further, so Skirvin decided to cause as much carnage as possible. There is no denying that Skirvin intentionally struck those police vehicles. Thankfully, the female officer was able to jump out of the way. The officer inside the car was taken to a local hospital, where they have since recovered. As police learned more about the story, they discovered that the woman Skirvin hit was his own daughter. It's unclear if they had been fighting or if Skirvin was off his rocker. He was eventually charged with a long list of crimes, including 6 counts of felonious assault on a police officer, aggravated possession of drugs, and discharge of a firearm. September 9th of 2021, Arkansas State Trooper Mike Bowman was parked in the center median observing traffic on the highway when a black 4-door vehicle sped past him at 85 miles per hour. He flipped on his radar, confirmed their high rate of speed, and tried catching up. He followed the car off the highway and down a few narrow roads. We're not sure if he had eyes on the car the whole time or if he made a few lucky guesses. Either way, Trooper Bowman caught up with the small black car and the chase was on. He thought a quick pit maneuver might end things before they got out of hand.
821, stated traffic, okay. Sure. 21.
The chase continues as the black car's rear bumper hangs on by a thread. They weave through more cars and even pop into the wrong lane to avoid an 18-wheeler. Things get extra dangerous when the chase enters a residential area and Trooper Bowman goes for another pit maneuver.
I'll show you coming up on Kelly, please.
Special division, up on West.
10-4 attack division.
Left on S.
West on S.
S is on south.
10-4.
Our suspect survives the pit but loses their rear bumper. Maybe they can lose the police if they take this chase off-road. With Trooper Bowman out of the chase, it's up to his fellow officers to end the pursuit. The suspect eventually passes Trooper Matthew Price, who turns around and joins the chase. We'll remain in his cruiser for the duration of the video.
Still southbound on 59.
Coming southbound on 59. I'll tell you about it, stop.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up right now! Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Police swarmed the vehicle and arrested two female suspects, the driver and the passenger. The driver, Angela McConnell, kept reaching behind her seat in the middle console. Fearing she had a weapon, police ripped her out of the car, causing her to bump her head on the squad car. But these ladies had bigger headaches on their hands. Angela had an active felony warrant in Arkansas. Meanwhile, her passenger, Brandy Stanhouse, had multiple warrants for her arrest. Both were taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. It's unclear what happened next, but we can assume they spent a few days in jail. As for Trooper Bowman, he was okay, just a little upset that he crashed his patrol car. On May 5th of 2022, police in Arkansas were in pursuit of a stolen Dodge pickup truck. When they initially attempted to stop, the suspect took off. That's when several more troopers joined in the chase. The suspect hit speeds over 100 miles per hour as he ran from police and narrowly dodged other cars on the road. Police knew they had to put an end to this. They just couldn't find the right time to move in. After several failed pit attempts at speeds over 115 miles per hour, officers were successful. They just probably didn't think they would also wreck out.
Exactly.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Hands up, you know.
Get on the ground! She fucking move! Don't you move!
Hey, y'all take care of him. I'm okay. I'm okay over here. In my car. This is 825. I'm okay. You did him apprehended.
Now let's see that crash again in slow motion. Our officer moves in for the pit from the right side of the truck. He's successful and the truck spins out, but the force of performing the move sends our officer out of control as well. He goes flying off the left side of the road at the same time the driver nearly crashes into some poor person's home. Both the officer and the suspect were uninjured in the crash. Later in the dashcam video, you see the suspect taken into custody with mud all over his face. Thanks to this officer's bravery, this dangerous driver will be off the road for many years to come. Texting and driving is illegal in 48 states and Washington, D.C. Of those states, 24 have banned handheld devices in general. Distracted driving is dangerous driving. There's no if and or but about it. The Tulsa Police Department released the following video for training purposes. In it, a police officer texts on his phone while out on patrol. Watch how taking his eyes off the road for 1 second nearly costs him his life. He's lucky nobody was seriously injured.
Sync will attempt to call 911. If you wish to cancel the call, please hold the phone button. A 911 assist call is being placed. Sync will speak first to the 911 operator before opening the line. Please wait.
Texting didn't cause the Jeep to jump the median, but it did prevent our officer from seeing the danger. He could have swerved to avoid the oncoming car if he'd been looking up. The Jeep driver was found to be at fault, though it's unclear what caused the accident in the first place. Tulsa police have yet to release a statement regarding Officer Texts a Lot. At 55 miles per hour, 5 distracted seconds is like driving across a football field with your eyes closed. According to AAA, reorienting your eyes to the road can take nearly half a minute. A text message isn't worth your life or somebody else's. Don't text and drive. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching and be sure to tune in next time.